I'm Brandon Phelps with 40 Freedoms Life Beyond Survival. I'm a survival instructor, and I teach these survival skills and these principles as a means for not only getting the confidence to survive, but the confidence in every other aspect of your life. The self-esteem boost, the self-efficacy, everything that comes from knowing how to do something that's difficult. That's one thing that I'm extremely passionate about, and I love that. And what we're going to do today actually is we're going to build a Paiute deadfall trap. And that's one of my favorite traps to set. So I'm going to need a base stick, a lever stick, and I'm going to need a little toggle stick or a trigger stick, and then a bait stick as well. So the knife I've been using today is the Spyderco Serrata blade. It's a cast 440C. I like this knife a lot actually. It's a good sturdy blade. The thickness of the blade actually all the way down, the strength of that gives me plenty of confidence to bang it as I need to and push as hard as I need to without worrying about the integrity of the shape of the knife. It's got plenty of edge on it, and it's holding its edge really well. And this is just the factory edge that it came with. Okay, so here's our Paiute deadfall trap. It's a fairly simple trap, much like the figure 4 trap, but this one you use string and the trigger system's a bit different. You see, this is my lever stick, here's my base stick, this is my trigger stick or toggle stick, and that's my bait stick. Now what I'm using here, you see the string coming around, the string comes around here and ties to that. All that pressure is pushing against that bait stick, so when this trips, it's going to fall flat down, and you've got the animal's got to go way up to the end here where the bait is, and that's where it's going to go when it trips it. And all this is using is friction against that rock. The bait stick is touching the rock there. So this one, I really like it because it's easier to make it sensitive, more sensitive than the figure 4 trap. Now all the tension is distributed between all of these twisting joints and the levers and everything, so that there's not one piece that's holding the majority of everything. So there's not a whole lot. Little squirrel comes along. Ooh, what's that salty fat that's on the end of this stick right here? Boom. The squirrel is no more. So what really inspires me about the primitive wilderness survival skills, what I'm really passionate about is that I'm not dependent on gear to give me the outcome that I'm hoping for. It's really it's me against nature, and I've really got to reach down inside to find that resourcefulness and recognize the things around me in my environment to make it work. And that's what really tests me. That's what really puts me through the paces to get what it is that I want out of this. And that's where that confidence comes from. My self-confidence when I do these skills, I love it. I practice this stuff every day because of how I feel when I accomplish something great. In a survival situation, usually the methods you're using to start fire are pretty strenuous, and you're exerting a lot of energy to do that. So you want to make sure that you're very prepared so that when you exert that energy, you're going to actually get the fruits of your labors, you're going to get that flame. And this knife is an excellent one for this because it's got a nice thick blade, it's nice and heavy, and so you've got plenty of strength behind what you're trying to do. And what I do is I just start around and I start cutting a notch like this all the way around. And the object of my efforts here is to get it down to a point where it'll easily break without pieces flying all over the place. If you've ever cut a log with a hatchet, you always cut an angle here and then cut an angle here. And that's essentially what I'm doing with this, only I'm doing it much slower and with a much smaller implement than a hatchet. So there's a lot less force behind it. So you see, once I've got that weakened to that point, that's my hinge point that I'm going to put all my force against, and it should break fairly easily. Right there. And that's how you can process these. Now, if you happen to have a piece that's bigger around than your wrist and you want that smaller because it's just a small cooking fire, as long as you've got enough of your blade sticking out of the outside on the opposite side of it to hit, get a good hit on that. And again, because of the thickness of this and that full length tang, this is actually going to be, this is an excellent knife for batoning. Right down the middle. There you go. Once you have a nice pile of this kind of wood, a nice big pile of these, and a good pile of your kindling, you're ready to start, you know, with a bow drill or with a spark or even with a lighter and some toilet paper. Whatever it is you're going to use, you've got all your stuff prepared and you're ready to go. Whew. This takes a lot of effort. About done in. Oh, heaven bless us all. I've got it. So, see that pile of punk that I've developed here? That's caused from the friction. Much like a bow drill fire, you're creating punk and heat, and that's smoldering. Only the beauty of this one is I just use my hands to create that friction and the movement on there. Now, again, expending that kind of energy, you want to make sure you're plenty prepared. So now I'm just going to put this in the tinder bundle. Isn't that beautiful? There you have it. Got you a nice fire. This knife actually, I've got nothing but good to say about it. This is a great all-around knife. It's one that I would definitely recommend for any kind of use, bushcraft, camping, just a regular simple knife, just to have on hand for whatever it is that you need. It's not too heavy, so it's not bulky. The size of it is, you can see, it's just the right size for anything that you'd want to use it for. So I highly recommend this knife. I've really enjoyed using it. I love it. I'm Brandon Phelps. I'm a survival instructor, and I get my gear from Blade HQ. I always have to put a plug in for the sanctity of life. If you're gonna kill something, you dang well better eat it. And you dang well better not be killing anything unless you plan on eating it. Everything out there is trying to survive just as much as you are, so you don't want to be wasting any of this.